What's up, everybody? It's your favorite show, Get a Bucket. I'm your host, Train, as usual. Hope you're all having a wonderful, wonderful day. And we got my guy on the show, Ira. And you might, as you listen to him, you may think, I don't really like what he's saying. Well, fun fact, he got a show called You're Not Gonna Like This. So I'm just saying, that's a nice little plug right there. Ira, how's everything with you, man?
It's going great. I mean, it's a nice, beautiful Sunday, I'd say. It's a nice day outside. Summertime. It's not hot. Well, it was hot the last couple of days, but
Let's say,
at the time it's recording, it was not. It's not hot outside. So beautiful day today.
yeah, it looked like you might be able to go outside and hoop today, but don't let them looks deceive you. Now, do get a little hot in the summertime, boy. You gotta be a little selective when you can go hoop outside. But look, today we're not gonna talk about hoops. Today we're not gonna talk about hoops. I'm just gonna get right to it. Right, we got my favorite Gab trivia going on, and what we do, Ira, just ask you a quick couple questions. Right, let's see what you know, see how good of a well, normally it's basketball related, but today we're gonna make it football. So I got a couple questions for you. Um, but before we do this, though, I always start this one off with everybody, so I gotta just gotta see what your thoughts are. What's a three-letter word that starts with gas?
What's a three-letter word that starts with gas? Car. The answer
Okay,
is car. I've seen that. I've seen that like 100 times already.
okay. Oh wait, did I? Did Wait? I know you came on before. Did I do that with you last time too?
I have no idea, but I've seen that TikTok 100 times. It's
Okay,
car. The
got
answer is
you.
car.
Okay, got you. If I didn't ask you the first time, then or the last time, then you're the first person to actually get that one right. It's and I've asked a bunch of people that too. It's funny. All right. How many players can an NFL team roster at one time?
52.
Okay. So you would be wrong. The answer is 53, but
Oh,
it's cool. Yeah,
wow.
give
Wow.
or take, give or take. But it's not horseshoes here. That was close though. But all right, next question. Next question. Who has the most MVPs in NFL history?
I wanna lean to say either Peyton Manning or Joe Montana. I wanna say they 5 and 4 respectively. I don't know.
I'm gonna need you
Like,
to lean with one. Like,
uh, let me see. I think Peyton Manning. I think he has 5. Peyton Manning has 5. I think he has 5.
all right, that's a good one right there. Shout outs to you. Shout outs to you. All right, now
Yeah,
we're
yes.
gonna we're gonna we're gonna we're gonna round this off. We're gonna round this off home. Do you know when he got those five?
Oof. I only know that's a lot. A lot of those are before my time. So there's that. I'm on 1999, baby. It's for
All
everybody
right,
out
I'll
there.
tell you.
He was drafted before I was born, but I can recite possibly 2007 to 2015 for a fact, because those are 2 years ago the Super Bowl. The other two I probably know, and I think probably one in 2012, but I'm not too certain. I know it's 5 though. I know it's
All
5.
right, I'll say this since you said that was before your time. I'll change up the question then. Answers was wrong, but I'll change up the question then.
I didn't know.
Yeah, yeah.
He won 2015? Damn, I thought he won one. I thought it was the year he threw 50 touchdowns. I thought that was the year. That was the year he won. Or
I
14.
got I got 2003, 2004, 2008, 2009, and 2013.
13 was the year. Yeah, that was the Julius Thomas, the Marius Thomas year. That's when he broke the record for 5 and 10 touchdowns.
Yeah,
Starting to come back to me.
yeah. I'll give you one more since you said that was before your time. Although this one might be a little tricky. When was the NFL founded?
When was the NFL founded? Oh, shit. Damn. I don't fucking know. Boy, I'm just gonna shoot a year 1932. The Bears been around for a grip, so
Hey, well, you were actually 12 years off. It was 1920. Yeah, so that's
19.
not a bad guess. That's not a bad guess, actually.
Bears
Not
have
at
been
all.
around for a
But
minute.
look, I appreciate you on Gab Trivia. You did a little better than most, actually. And I say that not blowing smoke up your ass, like literally, no one has gotten that three-letter word one right. You said it kind of quick. I was a little stunned, like caught me off guard. I was like, nah, I definitely had to have told him this one before. But ladies and gentlemen, we are done with the Gab trivia portion, and we'll talk very quickly about the Green Bay Packers. And it's funny because I feel like we're not going to talk about them too much in life going forward, but maybe we might though, because this brother Jordan Love, he got a lot of responsibility, got a lot of shoes to fill. Um, Do you personally believe Jordan Love is going to get any love from the Packers and Packers fan base and carry that mantle that they've had? You know, you got Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers. What's your take on the Green Bay Packers with Jordan Love?
I mean, it's a tale as old as time has. It's a tale old as time itself. I mean, this has been the Packers' philosophy. You know, those that don't know, they drafted Aaron Rodgers when Brett Favre was still wheeling and dealing, and then about 4 or 5 years later, they put Aaron Rodgers in, and the rest was history. Um, I don't know too much about Jordan Love. I know he went to UCLA. I mean, it's not about carrying the mantle. It's not about anything like that. First off, this brother's got to go out here and show us he can play football. That's the number one thing we got to see here. Can he be a quarterback in the National Football League? That's the number one thing. If he can do that, then we'll worry about MVPs and All Pros and getting to the Super Bowl. First off, we got to see bottom line. Can he play in the NFL? Is he good enough to play in the NFL? And can you build a franchise around him?
Well,
That's it.
do you? But all right, so let me ask you this, right? Because like you said, the Packers game plan for QBs.
Oh, yeah, the fly be flying.
That's hilarious. Oh my god!
Shit had to go.
Like,
That fly
like,
around my face about 10 minutes though.
are you good?
Hey,
So,
all right, go ahead, go ahead.
like I said, the Packers game plan for QBs, letting them sit a little bit, study their predecessor, and then go out there on the court, which is on the floor, which is actually a good game plan. Like I personally believe the Blazers should do that with Damian Lillard and Scoot Henderson, right? So with him in mind, with Jordan Love in mind, how many years do you give him? Because he's already like been around for about 3, 4 now. So if he stinks it up, right? Normally, if a rookie stinks it up, technically he's a rookie because he ain't really played. So if he stinks it up, like, does he get another shot? Like, what do you think he needs to do to avoid the Packers drafting another quarterback next season?
Play good.
But like, what is that to you though? Because that's very vague. Play good
Nah,
and
be
subjective.
play good is basically simplest. Make the game simple. Win games. Don't turn the ball over. That's it.
But like, all right. So I hear you, right? I hear you, but you gotta. It's more to it than that. Like, it's a lot of X's and O's. You got to have the team in place. Like, what do you want to specifically see from Jordan Love? Because, like, to me, I'm guessing I'd like to see a positive turnover. I mean, touchdown to interception ratio. I want to see a little bit of mobility, but the main thing I want to see is you're confident and a solid work ethic. I think that always goes far
all
in sports.
all of that encapsulates in my previous statement and winning games and not TD innocent turnovers, being
I
confident.
think you can. I think you can.
That leads to winning games. I'm not worried about how good his athletic ability is. That's not for me to determine. Like that's up for the coaching staff to see how good he is athletically, to see what plays you can scheme. Because like the one thing I would say is this: the Packers, he does not have the strength of Aaron Rodgers as throwing the ball. And he may have it, but as what we know right now, he don't got that Aaron Rodgers arm strength. So they got to rework the offense to build it into tool. We can't have a Nathaniel Hackett on Russell Wilson. With all due respect, we gotta adjust the offense to fit him, and we gotta know what he's good at. He's a mobile quarterback. He can run. He can throw and run. Based on what I've seen in UCLA days, he's a pretty solid guy. He's nothing that's gonna wow you. Tell you that much. He's not gonna wow you with his spectacular. But he's a solid player. So like again, like I said, it's all coming back down. Year one is simple. Year one is simple. Can you win games and not turn the ball over? Justin Fields, he didn't win games, but he didn't turn the ball over, and he made them competitive. Like
But what
the
if he
Bears,
doesn't? So
the Bears lost a lot of games,
let me
but
give you this. Let me give you this scenario then, because like I'm glad you brought up Justin Fields. Um, so let's say Jordan Love plays good, right?
mm-hmm.
But at the same time, the Packers are losing again. Like, it's not just if he plays well they win. Like, you got. It's a lot. It's a lot in sports to win, right? But like, I don't think they win necessarily because he plays good. But let's say he plays good and they're at the bottom of the barrel and they could draft number one. Do you go quarterback at that point in time? But he played
Not at all, not at
okay
all.
because
Same
Caleb
thing,
Williams
like
was
same thing.
available.
I'm gonna use Justin Fields to base this off all of it. Same thing here. Like if they go out there and they go 2-16, for example, all right, cool, all right. But
It's a little tough.
again, when you look at it, like, are we losing the games because of Jordan Love? Like, are we using because he's throwing 4 interceptions in the game? He's making the bad reads. He's doing all the bad stuff they call it bad reads, not knowing the play, turning the ball over, just looking very bad. Looking like Mark Sanchez after Rex Ryan. That's at the end of Rex Ryan's
Let's
tenure.
not go too hard on
I'm just saying, at
yeah.
the end, Mark Sanchez at the end of Rex Ryan tenure, Bud fumbles, the whole nine. Brother looks terrible. Then you'll go quarterback because then he's just a bad quarterback. That's just evident. Like a guy I can use for example that keeps you is Sam Darnold.
Hey, bro, let's not do that.
Example.
Sam Darnold is a good quarterback. That is
Exactly.
like Michael Vick.
He's a perfect example. And people realize that Sam Darnold was never well, I'm not gonna say he's absolved of all blame. There are things he can do better.
Yeah.
But he's a good quarterback. But when you look at the New York Jets, his first coach was Adam Gase. He was awful. They was terrible. Le'Veon Bell was shelling himself. Like that whole situation was god awful and one of the worst situations ever for a rookie quarterback. But everybody thought it was him. I was like, he don't got no receivers. He don't got a line. He has nothing. He has nothing. He's playing with an all pro flag football team basically out there.
Well,
Like,
you're not gonna blame if it's not all on Jordan Love, or if you can't put a lot of the blame on Jordan Love, you don't go quarterback personally. Okay. Because I can see some people looking at a player like Caleb Williams, Heisman winner, like just at USC. Let's say my boys out there, I'm a Trojan fan. Let's say we come out here and win that championship. I ain't gonna put too much stock into it right now. It's early. I don't want to disappoint myself. But I can see someone. I can see someone saying, "Hey, maybe he's a better quarterback, and we could flip Jordan Love."
It's a slap in the face essentially, and then that's not how you run an organization because Caleb Williams and Jordan Love are two different quarterbacks. Like they're not the same. They're not the same style players. So then, if you people gotta understand, you can't just go out there and just keep throwing in different quarterbacks unless you Kyle Shanahan, unless you got the offensive mind and the intellect to just say, "Shit, I got this many offenses for this many guys." Then go ahead, throw as many quarterbacks at the rim as you may. That may be your thing. But if you are a regular OC or you a regular QB or a regular head coach, not one of these special guys out here, then you can't just keep throwing in different guys. Now, look, I've been seeing a lot of slack for this. Dak Prescott is a great example of this. You can't Dak Prescott's not a bad QB. He's solid, but you can't go out there and tell me you're gonna find somebody that can offer what he offers. You gotta rebuild the whole team then. Like, why do you think Dak Prescott has had some pretty bad moments as a quarterback for the Cowboys?
Well, hold on. Let's pause that then. Because I think we can tie this back to the Dallas Cowboys conversation. We probably gonna have a little later on.
Okay. Bottom line is, long story short, you can't just throw a QB in there because you got to rework everything. Like we all know, the quarterback is the start of the offense. You need if you keep throwing guys in there, you can't develop consistency. I'll use my Commanders then. I don't think we're talking about these guys. Are we talking about these guys?
Yeah, we are actually. Tell you what. Let's change topics then, because you say you can't throw a quarterback in there. I hear you. But like the Jets actually did just throw a quarterback in there. See what I did there, ladies and gentlemen. Now they did just get Aaron Rodgers, who we just was talking about, was on the Packers. If y'all weren't listening, paying attention, or if you just joined, welcome. But Aaron Rodgers, MVP candidate, right? Can put your team in contention. I think one of the biggest things I saw was that he took a pay cut. And I think he kind of took that because the Packers, you're getting paid a lot. Again, it's similar to Dame. You're getting paid a lot, but you also want you want your team to really start putting players around you. And you need as much money as you can in order to do that. What was your thoughts on Aaron Rodgers taking a pay cut to join this Jets team? Like,
same thing Tom Brady did with the Bucks.
Okay, I'm glad you mentioned Tom Brady because it felt a little Tom Brady like, which gave me a little bit more optimism for these Jets this season. There's something about this Jets team, bro, that I'm like, maybe they could win the championship, like the Super Bowl. Like, it'd be a really nice story. I don't know. What's your thoughts on the Jets this season overall? Like, are you really high on them or no?
It starts and falls with Aaron Rodgers.
But like,
the quarterback. I'm high. Okay, that's your question. I'm very high on them. But my reason is because it starts and falls on Aaron Rodgers' shoulders. Aaron Rodgers is probably under the most pressure amongst all the QBs this season because If you watched the New York Jets last year, Zach Wilson was the reason they didn't make the playoffs. Their defense was firing. They had a great offense. Their run game was amazing with Brees Hall and was it? I can't think of the other guy, Michael Carter. They had amazing run game. They got Garrett Wilson. They got Corey Davis. They got great receivers out there. I mean, they traded Elijah Moore for Alan. Elijah Moore and Alan Lazard flop spots, but they have a good receiving core. They had a good line. Their defense is astonishing. Like
they're a complete team for you.
They had everything, huh?
Yeah, so they're a complete team for you now. Because I did hear.
That's why I say Tom Brady on Aaron Rodgers. Because look at the Bucks before Tom Brady came. They had everything on there. They had Jameis Winston at quarterback.
So then, would you say then if the Jets lose, you could look at Aaron Rodgers signing as like an overrated signing, if you will? Because again, we have expectations.
It all depends on how the loss transpires.
First round playoffs.
It all depends on how the loss transpires.
So as long as
I can't because like if Aaron Rodgers go out there and throw for 400 touchdowns and 400 yards and 3 touchdowns and they put up 500 yards of offense, but the defense allows 45 points, then that can't be Aaron Rodgers' fault. That he doesn't control the defense side of the ball. So it's all going to look at how the loss transpires. If they lose or when they lose, we gotta see how they lost first. Once we can figure out how they lost, then we can get the pointing fingers and see what went wrong and how.
Okay. Now I also got to bring up though, what if they don't make the playoffs? Because realistically, we got a couple of other teams in their own division. Like forget the conference. Got a couple teams in their division that are kind of tough. You got the Bills, right? They complete. You got the Dolphins.
The Bills are complete.
Huh?
Bills are complete at what? Where?
I would say they complete. Now they decline into a lot of people, but still they're a solid team now. Like I can't say they're going to definitively lose to the Jets. Like that's an uphill battle to face too. You got the Dolphins. They're a really good team. And then the Patriots, you don't want to slack too much on Bills. So I mean, if they don't make the playoffs, is he an overrated signing or is it justified?
Again,
it's the playoffs, though.
It all depends.
But you just, brother, it's a healthy team all the way through, and they can't make it to the playoffs. And it's Aaron Rodgers, who you just said earlier on.
Okay,
you're high on. You can't make it to the playoffs. You mean tell me that not a little trouble?
If they fully healthy,
yeah.
Did everybody play up to par?
Everybody.
That's what I'm saying. Like you giving me, you're asking me to answer this question, but there are so many like.
But when you sign someone like Aaron Rodgers,
there's so many variables to answering a question like that I can't give you. I can't give you an accurate answer. It's no way I can give it to you because I'm gonna keep looking back at it. Like if they don't make the playoffs, did everybody play well? Did Garrett Wilson go out there and only drop like 6 passes and only catch for 200 yards? Like I can't drum up that right now because one is July. We are in training camp. So I don't know what is expecting. All I can know is like right now the Jets and the Ravens are on the same level. Like it's a bunch of hot air right now. Like
I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. The way the Jets have been depicted, right? You have the defense, you have the offense in place, you have people who Aaron Rodgers has played with. So if we can't get to the playoffs with this team, I understand that the Bills are there. I understand the Dolphins there. New coach.
Could be coaching.
If we can't get to the playoffs,
could be coaching.
I don't know.
It could be coaching.
I mean, we talked about him as a great talent. So why can't we get over the hump now? You're on a good situation.
The best definitive answer I can give you is you would have to look at the coaching if that were to happen because it's like we gave y'all the pieces, we got everybody at every position, then what the hell is going on? That means the coach ain't built the continuity of the roster. But I find it really, really, I think there's a less than a 10% chance to just miss the playoffs unless something dramatic or insane happens to that roster that causes them to lose a guy.
Right.
I mean, or something just fails dramatically or anything like that. But I have a very, like the Jets and the Ravens are on the same pinnacle. Like, Aaron Rodgers and Odell
Ravens
Beckham
now.
are the two marquee signings of free agency that everybody is clamoring about, and they are expecting Lamar Jackson to take them to the AFC Championship game, something he hasn't did yet. So they're expecting him to go there this year with the Odell Beckham signing, because the thing is, just like the Jets, quarterback, Ravens, receiver. It's right now hot air, but if the best thing is to look at right now is, are the Jets going to maintain their competitiveness? If they are competitive as they were last year in every game, every aspect, then it's on Aaron Rodgers. Because if we competitive, then Aaron, we put you in because you need to make decisions that Zach Wilson couldn't make. So
Okay.
stuff like that. So we competitive all year and we losing games because you throw a clutch pick or you make the wrong read or you don't do the things that, then we can point to Aaron Rodgers, because it's like, okay, all right, we got the pieces, we competitive, but
Okay.
you
Okay.
made the same mistakes Zach Wilson made. So
Okay.
what was the point?
So it sounds like then, if I'm not mistaken, you're expecting the Jets to have a repeat performance, but better success with the Aaron Rodgers.
It would
Okay,
be a
that's
shock.
fair.
It would
I
be
mean,
a shock for me if they fail. It would be a shock.
okay,
They looked great last year. They were 5-2, I believe, before everything transpired.
okay, okay. All right. Well, like you said, we got to wait and see. It's early, right?
Very
It's
early.
it's July right now when we're recording, but when the episode come out, probably gonna be August. So so we got a lot of time. But we'll see what happens. Repeat performances, they are pretty cool. Speaking of repeat performances, though, my buddy, my guy, Kansas City Chiefs. What's your what's your what's your stock on them right now? Like, you on FanDuel?
It's
You got them higher than the Jets, or
yes, because it's Patrick Mahomes. I'm never like Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady are slowly being in the same circles as of right now in terms of playing. I mean, like, I'm not betting against Pat. Not betting against Pat. It's hard to bet against Pat Mahomes. Can't do it. He's
someone
shown
like
us.
Aaron
He's
Rodgers?
shown us.
Someone like Aaron Rodgers, though.
I mean, you can't bet against him either. Like those
Okay, like,
guys.
so I guess
So
I'll say
the
you
way
lean more Patrick Mahomes than Aaron Rodgers
I don't.
right
So
now.
say again. What was the question? Repeat that,
So do
please.
you lean? So it sounds like you lean more Patrick Mahomes opposed to Aaron Rodgers.
Absolutely. I love Aaron Rodgers, but Patrick Mahomes is definitely a better quarterback right now. There's no questions about that.
Okay, okay.
But to
'Cause-
answer but I'm assuming you're going the route of, will they repeat?
yeah,
Okay, well, I mean, the biggest question I have for the Chiefs this year is that left tackle spot. They lost Orlando Brown to the Ravens, so who is protecting Patrick Mahomes? That is, they still have Creed Humphrey at the center spot,
hey,
so they still got the
hey,
interior of the line protected. But
hey, dog, I need you to stop looking at my notes, because like I definitely
I'm
have
not
Orlando
answering.
Brown. I
I'm
have
not
Orlando
answering that.
Brown's loss
So
effect right here, bro.
all
I
right,
need you to stop looking at my OneNote, Ira. I need you to get out of my computer, bro.
So time out. To all of the Get a Bucket Pod supporters, blame Trey. He invited somebody that knows the game of football, because I didn't even know Orlando Brown was on the thing. I didn't even see that. I didn't even look at that. I just know the Chiefs lost Orlando Brown. That was one of like the biggest things of like the entire free agency period. Like, they lost their best left tackle. So, but that's the question. Will Pat have that same protection? Because I knew when they lost the Bucks a couple seasons ago, that they didn't have that. That's why I think they traded for Orlando Brown from another team before he got to the Chiefs.
Yeah,
So
and he's on the Bengals too. That's scary. Like, yo, you're able to protect Joe Burrow now, and we just saw what you've done for Patrick Mahomes. Like that.
Orlando Brown is on the Ravens. What do you mean?
Mm-mm.
He's on the Ravens, bro. There's Ronnie Stanley and Orlando Brown, I believe. I think those are the two tackles for the Ravens this year. Mm-hmm. He signed with the Ravens.
No, he signed with. Hold
Unless
on.
I'm wrong, I may be wrong, but I
No,
believe.
yeah, I'm quite confident you are. I'm about to share the screen. The reason why I say that, because I made a video about this like a while ago.
Let me see. Ravens.
Oh no, I got you on the screen right here, bro. I got you on the screen right here. He was drafted by the Ravens, but he's the offensive tackle for the Cincinnati Bengals. Yeah, because they signed him, and that's why I was like, bro, that's really good for the Bengals to have, because we've already seen what he did with with Patty Mahomes, and now, like you said, that does provide a little hole for the Chiefs, because if you can get to Patty, You can get the natty. That's all I'm saying. Like you
No,
can beat
right. I
them
guess
boys.
damn, that kind of sucks. Well, I was wrong on that one. I swear, Lamar had two dog tackles this year. That's why I was really excited.
Mhm.
I swore he had two. He got Morgan Moses though. He a good guy. He's a
Oh,
former.
he's
He's
a
good.
good guy.
He's not Orlando Brown, but he's good. He's a good guy. He's a good guy.
Okay.
By the way, bottom line, back to the point at hand. The Chiefs, they lost. There's somebody been line.
Mm.
Like we saw with the Bucks, if you can pressure pack, you can cause some havoc back there. Another thing will probably be their defense. I think the defense needs to improve
Hey,
vastly.
bro, get out of my one note. Damn.
Oh, I study the game. I'm sorry. What do you want me
I
to
had the
do?
defensive ranking after, or actually, I had the defensive ranking. Then I was gonna follow
I
up with
study the
Orlando
game.
Brown. That's
You
crazy.
see, you know how people be in them chats talking about I'm a Commander fan. I don't know football. This goes to show you that these guys are 100% wrong.
I feel
I
like
know
I
the
did
defense.
send him. I feel like I sent you. Let me make sure. I think I did send you the
You
top.
sent it to me, but I
Yeah, I'm
promise
about
you.
to, he probably looked at him, ladies and gentlemen. He knew what we was talking about today.
No.
That's what
Honestly,
it was.
I'm gonna be
That's
honest.
what it was.
Tap my chest twice. Points to the
You
sky.
don't be watching the commercials.
I only looked at the Commanders part. I looked at the Commanders part. That's the only thing I really looked at because I wanted to see what questions he was specifically asked about my team. I know about all the other 32 teams in the NFL. I know everything that's going on with those teams. I watch football. I I know my sports. I know my sports. So even if he didn't, I probably would have said the same thing more than likely. But we all know that the Chiefs secondary is
Yeah.
questionable. They do have Travis McDuffie at the corner spot. That's shout out to my cousin. He knows his corners better than I do. So apparently they got this new guy Travis out there. I do like Bolden, the number 32. I don't know his first name. I can't think of his first name. He's the middle linebacker for them. He good too. So it's all depending on what them two guys do. They had pretty good seasons last year, but if they can build upon that and become all pro in their respective rights or well respected enough that you gonna fear them. That's what it is. Because the Chiefs' downfall has always been their defense. I mean,
Yeah.
like their defense has always been suspect at times, but it's came through. It's came through when they needed to the most. So
Okay.
that's
Okay.
what it is.
Now, I'm glad you said it came through when they needed to, and you're absolutely right on that one. Um, it's kind of actually shocking when I thought about it too. Like last season, I didn't think like last postseason defense improved, showed you some things. Shout out to their defense. The Dolphins, though, the Dolphins, bro, they they looking kind of scary defensively too, especially from that corner spot. Like, what do you think about the Dolphins defense? Like, we know
Uh,
about the offense. We know Tua might be, I guess, that question mark because of the whole concussion protocols. Like, he will he get concussed again, which every quarterback probably has to worry about. But it happened to him a couple times last season. So we know the issues for the offense. What's the issues for you from a defensive standpoint for the Dolphins?
there are none.
No defensive. Okay, so I guess who has more expectations? Oh,
Yeah,
no, who has higher expectations, the offense or the defense from the Dolphins? Because they got no issues now, but the offense has more expectations.
because the defense has been the pivotal force in Miami since Brian Flores was their head coach. That is a Brian Flores built defense. Shout out, I forgot their head coach's name. He was the 49ers offensive head coach. I forgot his name. I can't remember the Dolphins head coach's name right now. Um,
Hold on,
you
Mike
know,
McDaniel.
Mike McDaniel. Mike McDaniel needs to send Brian Flores a heartfelt letter for the defense that he was gifted. Brian Flores drafted all them boys and put that defense together. Former Patriot defensive coordinator for those that do not know. So Brian Flores built that defense. Everybody, that's Brian. That's Brian Flores.
Hmm.
The only thing that the Dolphins have added since Mike McDaniel has been there is Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey is gonna fill in the spot that Byron Jones has kind of had a pretty rough falling off since his Cowboys days. He hasn't been as great, so he might get delegated or downgraded to nickel corner and things
Hmm.
like that, or they may move him to safety. I don't know. We'll have to see first.
Hmm.
But with that being said, Jalen Ramsey is gonna help Xavier Howard out tremendously. Xavier Howard was tasked to cover number ones all over the field, and when you got teams with multiple number ones, it got pretty hectic for him. Like the Bengals, when Tua got hurt last year, he was going between Jamar Chase and T Higgins the whole game. He had
That's
to figure
right.
out there's a lot going on for him. So he can't cover everybody. So it's tiring doing all that. So Jalen Ramsey's gonna fill in the mushy the hole, but they got Christian Wilkins. He's a dog. The defensive line is amazing.
Hmm.
I mean, Buda Baker, not Buda Baker, linebacker. Ron, I don't know his name. Baker is his last name for sure. I know that. Linebacker, he's solid. I mean, the defense has no holes, no nothing. I mean, as long as they play like we know they can play, we're not expecting anything. But the offense, we're expecting everything because everybody talked about how Tua went down. The Dolphins was going to win the AFC East, and just all these great things were going to happen. When Tua got hurt, they didn't make the playoffs. They did make the playoffs, but did they? I don't know. But Tua, they said all these things happened. Tua was not there. If Tua was there, we would have been better. We would have had a better record. We would have been deeper in the playoffs. This one,
See, I hear
everything.
that. I
Tua was
hear
supposed to
that.
be Tua was supposed to be in MVP conversations.
But see,
Everything
that's
that
why.
resulted into the Dolphins not going as deep as they wanted, everybody pointed to Tua. They said Tua was supposed to be there, and if Tua was there, we was gonna be where we needed to be. That's why Tua is probably number 2 on my list of most pressing players going into this 2020-24 season. He got to
So
deliver.
like,
Don't
hear me out though, right? Because you said, yeah, you were higher on the defense. At least it sounds like, because it sounds like they're more complete. You know, Brian Flores did a wonderful job with the team and constructing it from a defensive perspective. And then you add in Jalen Ramsey. So from an expectation perspective, it sounds like they kind of complete. Sounds like they top notch even. And when I look at this Miami Dolphins offense, Tua's a big ass question mark right now. And that's why I'm like, I was thinking maybe the defense is gonna have higher expectations. Obviously, you need Tua to thrive and win that Super Bowl because you got to put points on the board. Defense ain't gonna do that all game. But still, expectation wise, from a like consistency, availability, that matters. Defense sounds like they more in place, put together than the offense is. But
maybe me and you define expectations a little bit differently. I don't use availability and consistency as the things of like to define expectation because expectation means I'm expecting them to be better or above than what they were. And the Dolphins defense was as great as it could be. They were probably I think they were a top 10 defense last year if I'm not mistaken.
mm,
And I mean, as long as they continually be a top 10 defense, I'm expecting them to be themselves. That's it. There's no like I'm not expecting them to be more or better or anything else. I'm just expecting them to be them. Now you could say you
you
expect
can't.
them to be. You can say that you can expect them to be better because they signed Jalen Ramsey.
That's what I'm
You can
saying.
say
Like,
it,
you expect
but
that though.
realistically, I don't expect much from them. I expect them to do what they've
But
been
see,
doing. And
you
that's
just said though that so you're gaining somebody who can guard the number one option at wide receiver slot, right? Possibly even the tight end if you need to. And like I would expect now that's less holes you have in your defense. So now you do get better. Like, I do expect you, especially someone his caliber. I do expect that defense to
so last
improve.
year.
Like,
So last year they didn't have a hole. Like Byron Jones was not a bad corner. He's not a bad corner.
like
He's just
when I say
upgrade. It's just
when
like
I say holes, I mean on one side of the field you got a really good option. On the
so.
other side, you got a solid option, but now you have a really good
So
option. Like,
I'm gonna put it to you like this: you're a Panthers fan, right? All
mhm,
right. Let's say, matter of fact, yeah, you're a Panthers fan, right? Okay, cool. You know your defense. You got Jeremy Chan, you got J.C. Horn, you got
mhm,
Brian Burns.
mhm.
Daniil Hunter just signed a deal not too long ago of 17 million guaranteed. If y'all trade for Daniil Hunter, it's the same thing as the Dolphins trade for Jalen Ramsey. It's just this big marquee talent that you know is gonna change the game no matter where you put him. And if we get him, the sky's the limit because y'all got Shaq Thompson at
That
linebacker
means
too.
that's
So the
the,
sky, so like if y'all was to get the Mill Hunter and pair him with Brian Burns on opposite sides, the sky's the limit. Like
that makes your defense better. That makes us
exactly.
better.
So it's just like
I'm expecting to. That's why I'm saying like I expect that, and
but
then
like your defense, but like the thing is the Panthers defense was good last year. It wasn't horrific. It was good. It was
were we
decent.
number one? Were
No,
we number one?
you were middle of the pack because y'all are young guys. So that but besides the point, that's besides the point there. I'm just saying in for example speaking, like it's just guys like if I'm a Commanders fan, if somebody was to call me and tell me that like when Aaron Rodgers was looking for trade pieces, if somebody would tell me, hey, we can get Aaron, shoot, I could go get him. Might as well. Shoot, why not get him? We got all the pieces in place. But then you gotta look at what you're gonna give up for that guy like that. So it's just things like that. But if if a marquee player is available and you think he can be this substantial upgrade or just in piece like you can't sit here and find me a team in the NFL that wouldn't try to go for Jalen Ramsey. He's the best corner. He still is the best corner in the NFL currently. So I mean, like, if the Rams said they're gonna trade him, shoot, Why not? Forget it. Put an offer together. If they accept it, that's probably what the Dolphins did. They probably just whimsically called the Rams like, "Yo, hey, we got this. We'll see this. Rams like, all right, we'll review it. Rams called them back, say, yo, we'll take it. All right, well, there it is. Man, throw something out there, see what happens. Same thing when they traded for Bradley Chubb in the middle of the season. Throw something out there. Hey, see what happens.
Okay, okay. And you said Tua got the is number 2 on pressure for you. So would it be fair to put him on the hot seat?
Uh, I want to say yes, but then I want to say no. But I want to say yes because, like Brian Flores, this is a story for anybody that doesn't know. Brian Flores wanted to draft Joe Burrow with the first, with the fifth over, with the when Tua and Joe came out the same year. Brian Flores wanted to draft Joe Burrow, but the organization wanted him to draft. Brian Flores wanted Joe Burrow. The team, a lot of people in the organization wanted Joe Burrow, but they went Tua because Brian Flores refused to tank. So the Dolphins' first choice was not even Tua Tagovailoa to begin with. They wanted Joe Burrow. I just want to put that because the owner was mad about it. There was a whole when Brian Flores got fined and fired and all that good stuff. That was because he didn't want to lose some extra games to go draft Joe Burrow. That was why that's why all that transpired. And he's already in a place that doesn't really want him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna put that out there. So if he doesn't do good, like he bought himself more time last year because he went out in the games he played and he beat the Bills. They beat I don't know if they won the Bengals game, he got hurt. But they were winning, they were beating like they beat the Ravens. They came back from 25 down and beat the Ravens. So like Tua showed glimpses like, hey yo, I can be
Be
your
that guy. Yeah.
so he bought himself a little bit more time, even though he got hurt. Because the games that he played well in, they were all marquee, tough defenses, tough.
Yeah. Like they looked really
exactly. So he
so
bought himself.
let me ask you. So let me ask you this because I got told this last season. I'm really a big fan of this, especially now. Let's say Tua doesn't play well, but he kind of does okay, right? Would you want Lamar Jackson and Tua swap happening? Like, do you think that would be realistic from a Baltimore Ravens standpoint? Like, would they even want that?
That would never happen a day on God's green earth whatsoever.
Okay, I was just curious because, like I said, at one point in time, Lamar Jackson was on the fritz. He was trying to leave.
He was leaving because they didn't want to pay him.
Yeah, but they also he got a little contract situated now. So I was just curious though. I was just curious about that. But so Tua on the hot seat a little bit might not be fair, but we'll see how it shakes out. That's cool. Another quarterback though that I want your thoughts on that could be on the hot seat, probably should have been for a while. And you might appreciate this, Ira. You might even get a little smile on your face there, boss. Dak Prescott. See, we back at the Cowboys now. Is it fair to put Dak on the hot seat?
Dak should have been on the hot seat years ago. If you ask me, like honestly, they've they've given everything to that man. Like
Given everything to Dak.
they've given everything to that man, dog. CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, Zeke, Tony Pollard, Dalton Schultz. He had Jason Witten before he became completely worthless. I don't know how long. I don't know. I'm not too sure on Dez Brown. I don't know if Dez Brown was still running roster the Cowboys when Dak got at the helm in 2016. I don't know.
I don't think he got prime Dez if he did.
He don't got prime Dez, but Dez was still usable.
He's had a lot of weapons. But to be fair, that Cowboys team as a whole just kind of falls, and I can't really say it's all on Dak.
It falls apart because of Dakota Prescott. You've heard it here first. And for all those that think I am a Commanders fan. I don't hate Dak Prescott. I don't dislike the guy. He's not bad. He's not great either. Like
He's no Aaron Rodgers. He's no Patrick Mahomes.
Dallas Cowboys talk about Dak Prescott like he is Randall Cunningham or Donovan McNabb, and he's nowhere near any of them too.
He had a really solid start, though. I ain't gonna lie.
He did. That's cool. Yeah, that's because Ezekiel Elliott was the best player on that offense, and they had on the.
Well, that line too. Yeah, I would say that line was a big thing.
So Dak Prescott's responsibility was very low when Zeke and that line was bow. His responsibility, all he had to do was just maintenance. Come in, make the right play, do that.
Game manager, yeah.
And being game manager. But the problem is, even when it's the lowest task in the world, Dak Prescott has found a way to somehow fail at doing it. And people hate it. People say I'm a Commanders fan and I hate him, but like prime example, Dak, people love keep telling me like, "Oh, we playing who's in front of you." That's cool. I got that. I understand what happens. But however, the facts are what the facts are.
Mm.
Dak will go play the Chicago Bears, for example, or the Detroit Lions, or the Minnesota Vikings that have some of the worst defenses in the football. Go out there, throw for 400 yards, 3 touchdowns. You swore that brother was an MVP the way he played it. But then he'll come back, he'll play the Ravens, for example, with an elite defense, and then throw for 150 yards and 3 picks. And then you'll be like, what happened?
Did
And
they
it's the
win the
same
game
thing.
though? Did they
It
win the
happens
game though?
like
Did they win the game though?
even I don't know. I don't know. Maybe who? Let's say they didn't win for my case sake. But when he played the Patriots,
Mm.
they won in overtime that game because CeeDee Lamb beat I think Jalen Mills on the crossing route. But the Patriots were terrible that year.
Mm.
I don't think they even had Mac Jones yet. I think Brian Hoyer was their starting quarterback. I don't think they had Mac yet. I don't think Mac was there yet. I think it was the year just after Tom left. Oh yeah, it was the Cam Newton year when Cam Newton they were swapping guys out for him because Cam Newton got out with COVID. That was the COVID year, I believe.
Yeah, that was tough.
That was a COVID
I
year.
hated that year for Cam.
Why in God's green earth are the Cowboys, who are exponentially the better team at every position, every facet of the game, come with the Patriots? Why? Because Bill Belichick is a defensive mastermind. He knows what Dak sucks at. He highlights those things, and he makes Dak's game impossible. There's no reason that game should be close. Like, anytime Dak plays a great defense.
Oh, so can we give a little credit of the Bill? Because I think, for example, like let's go past.
Bill Belichick.
You know what I'm saying? That's a little tougher because like if someone lost to Pop and the Spurs, I ain't too mad. Last year they were ass, but it's still Pop though. That's why I'm like.
But bottom line to me is every time Dak Prescott plays an above average defense or even an average defense,
he changes. Yeah, he changes.
Even my Commanders in the last game of the year, he looked terrible. He looked awful.
Game. I feel like do you give credence to like the rivalry game and that might have altered Dak Prescott or
Dak Prescott is 9-2. Dak Prescott is 9-2 against the Commanders, and I can't name one time out of them 11 games that Dak Prescott looked like an MVP in any of them games. Okay. And that's no disrespect because I remember one time we lost like 50-13 on Sunday Night Football, and it wasn't because of Dak Prescott.
So then let me ask you this thing, because after we kind of just slandered, when I say we, I kind of more so mean you. So after we're slandering Dak a little bit, what's his trade value?
Trade value?
I mean, he gotta have trade value now. We can't say
he's a serviceable quarterback. I mean, he's not bad. He's not great either. Like I said, I don't know. The NFL trade values is kind of weird. Maybe a third round pick. I don't know.
Third round pick for Dak.
Third round pick, I guess. I don't know how that works on the trade thing.
Okay.
I don't know. NFL trade value is a little weird. So
okay.
But
you wouldn't offer up a first or a second rounder.
Absolutely not. First round pick with Dak Prescott. Get out of here, bro. I wish somebody would trade that for him. No way, son.
A low first rounder, like a late
first rounder. Even Devontae had. Like you do realize the first round picks are not noticed before you trade for them. It's not like we don't know what the pick's gonna be worth when we get it. We just know we got a first rounder, so it's unprotected. It's not like the NBA where you got top 10s, top 5s, lottery protected. They ain't got none of that.
But you might know too, though, how teams don't do like
NFL picks.
Let's say the Lions, like you know what? Actually, no, the Lions actually been playing all right. Actually, yeah. Mm-hmm. Houston, you know them boys gonna be at the bottom of the barrel for a little bit. Like, let's say Houston, like, you know what? Let's bring Dak over. Let's give you a first rounder for him. That might be a little low. But
then Dak's going to play for Houston. So that means Dak's going to play for Houston. That means they get Houston's first round. That means Houston's going to be better.
Yeah.
The first round is going to be maybe be worthless. Then again, they may suck. Who knows? I don't know. Our bottom line is I'm not trading a first round pick for Dak Prescott. No.
Okay. He's not worth that first round.
Third round pick.
All right, Dak. I tried. I really tried. So then with the shaky Dak,
Davante Adams, top 15 guys in the league is Justin Jefferson. Top 15 guys are first round picks.
Okay. So then with the shaky Dak, right? What's your expectations for this Dallas Cowboys team going forward? Because they did just get Brandon Cooks now. CeeDee Lamb is a year older, so he's a little more mature. The run game ain't bad. Like,
as a Commanders fan, and I've said this 100 times, but I feel like it goes over every Dallas fan's head every time I say it. I expect Dallas to dominate like they should.
mhm.
They are the best team on paper. Now, record this. Make sure. Zoom in on me. Now, where's the camera? Look at
Hold
me.
on. I'll put you on your soapbox. Go ahead.
Yeah, there you go. Look, you hear me. You heard this right here. Dallas is supposed to dominate. They are the best team on paper in the NFC East. They're one of the best teams in the National Football Conference, as the NFC for short, if those that don't know. They've had it for years, years. But it all falls on Dak Prescott's inability to come through. And it's happened time and time again. I expect Dallas to be themselves, have a good defense, their offensive weapons do what they do, but it rests on Dakota's shoulders. If Dak can go out there and play good football, Dallas could make an NFC Championship game. They could. They possibly could. But if Dak go do what we all know Dak's been doing, they probably gonna get a low end first round opponent and think they thought they were the best thing ever when they beat Tampa Bay Buccaneers last year, and Tampa Bay was 6-11. So I mean, take what you will with that information. I mean, but then when they played a good 49ers team, they couldn't put up over 13 points.
They got dog walk. They got dog walk.
Exactly.
Honestly, I ain't gonna lie. I think it would have been poetic if the Cowboys had played my Panthers and then beat us, but then they lose the way they did to the 49ers because
And why did the
CMC.
why did they lose that game exactly? Why did they lose to the 49ers?
I mean, 49ers is a more complete team. That 49ers team should have won the Super Bowl last year.
So in the quarterback position, who outplayed who that game? Would you say Brock Purdy outplayed Dak Prescott that game? I would say that.
I might say Brock Purdy had better weapons and a better defense than I
CeeDee Lamb, Debo Samuel. Tell me the difference. How much is one better than
CMC versus like CMC is a big piece, and then you got Kittle that came back too.
they had
Like,
Tony
he
Pollard?
healthy.
Was Tony Pollard still playing or did he break his leg already? What happened? Tony Pollard still playing? I don't know. Can't remember exactly.
I'd have to check back and see on that.
But
I just remember looking back at those teams at the rosters and
but the
thinking,
thing is, but the thing is,
49ers had a better team.
if you look at that game, if you look at that game, the Dallas defense playing phenomenal. Debo Samuel didn't do that much. George Kittle didn't do much till the second half of that game.
Mm-hmm.
Their run game was pretty contained for the most part, being that you had C-Mac. The Dallas defense, again, I'm a Commanders fan, so I shouldn't be saying these things, but the Dallas defense played exceptional in that 49ers game. They did everything. They did everything. But Dak Prescott threw 2 timely interceptions that led to the 49ers getting a short field, and therefore they scored on both times that they got the ball on the short end of the field. That's what happened. Literally. They
I
lost the
mean,
game because of that.
I look at it like this, right? Matter of fact, let me pull up this. I had to pull up the stats real quick because 19-12 ain't bad.
It's not.
It's not bad. And
Not at
then
all.
I'm looking at this, why I say I just think he had a better team, bro. Like, yeah, CMC didn't really do much on the rushing yards. Elijah Mitchell's still there. He doing well. George Kittle was out there.
Didn't do much.
Nobody didn't really do anything for the Cowboys. Like CD had a good game. Kittle had a good. Outside of that, drop off. Out right here, you still got a couple people like it's a little bit different. That's why I say I don't think Dak had a better team than the 49ers. Like I honestly believe
That
if you
brother
have Dak Prescott on the 49ers, bro, I think you win the Super Bowl still.
That brother threw for 150 yards, 2 picks, and had a QBR 46. If that game ain't his fault, I don't know what else to tell you.
But like we can't point at the again. Let me pull up again. I'll pull up.
You got to pull up again.
I have to. I feel like because dog, like when I'm looking at this right here, that seems like 10 targets, 5 receptions. That hurts. 7 targets, 4 receptions. I'm not gonna blame all that on Dak. I understand he got 2 interceptions. I can't blame that on Dak personally, but I do hear you. I do hear you though.
But you also sound like all the Dallas fans. You're giving them another 5 excuses of this or this happened, this happened, this happened. I mean, things happen all the time in football games, bro. Like nothing is gonna be run perfect. Receivers gonna drop passes. Tight ends not gonna run the right. It happens, bro. Like it happens.
Yeah, but it's
But the
their
thing is,
job though.
but the issue is, this always happens with Dak Prescott. It's always every time he loses, it's always some ulterior motive that happened. It's never like,
I
oh,
don't think he's absolved of blame. I just can't say
that's
he's.
all I'm saying.
Yeah. Oh,
If you
yeah.
want to point to the fact that he didn't have Tony Pollard or he didn't have Michael Gallup and those guys would have made a difference, I can't argue with you with that. Those guys are phenomenal players. I'm not gonna sit here in my commander ways and be oblivious to the fact that those guys aren't good players. However, Michael Gallup was not there for the entire season, and Tony Pollard did not play in their first playoff game. So
But also that was against the Bucks too, so that
the
won't.
Bucks have a great defense.
It's still it was the Bucks on the downward spiral.
The Bucks, I believe, you can look that up. The Bucks also were top 15 or top 10 defense this past year.
No, I hear you. I'm just saying that as a team, though, I don't really think you're worrying about getting past them without Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard can leave both 49ers.
The only reason the Dallas Cowboys blew out the Bucks to that magnitude is because the Tampa Bay offense was historically bad like all year.
Yeah,
It really showed. It really showed in the playoff game. Like Tom Brady looked like he needed to retire.
yeah. So that's the reason why
I feel like the Dallas defense won that game because Dak benefited off the fact that Dallas was forcing turnovers. They was getting good field position, and Dak just had it. Just don't fuck it up. That was the game for that. Just don't fuck it up, Dak. That's all you had. Don't fuck it up, and he didn't. He
That's
did
right.
what he had to do. Again, I'm back to that point again. He does what he needs to against the mediocre to bad teams, but when he plays the great teams,
Okay. All right. Well, that sounds like a nice little transition period because you said something about mediocre or great teams. And I'm not going to be disrespectful because I don't know how you classify your team, but the Washington Commanders, where do they rank for you? Are they a mediocre team? If you want to say great team, I respect it, but like where do they rank for you personally?
good.
Good. Okay. Yeah. I feel like that might be your favorite word to describe some. If they play good, if they good, like that might
Not
be
great,
your word.
but good.
Okay. All right.
Be the
Like
quarterback.
when you say good,
Last
when you
year,
say good, is it playoff good though?
yes, playoff good. Last year we were 8-1.
All right. I just want to say for the record
We were
now, you
eight
got
eight.
now look.
We were 8-1 last year,
I
and
hear
we had
you.
Carson Wentz lose a 6. He went 1-5 as our starter. 1-5.
I hear
Just
you.
want to put it out there.
I hear you, brother. I'm just saying though.
Taylor Heineke came in and went 7-2.
Okay. So then let me ask you, because y'all got new management and whatnot. Is that gonna do you expect that to be a positive change for you?
Yes, absolutely. Please. What? Oh my God. Daniel Snyder is gone. Hallelujah. Freedom bells ring. Parade down U Street. I don't care. Goodness Lord. Yes. Yes.
But does that
Daniel Snyder
positive
is
change
horrible.
start this season though, Ira? Because change it takes some time to happen now. So I
Our
mean,
change started when we hired Ron Rivera. That's
you
when the
know,
change started.
I like Ron. He was my boys.
We became competitive every year. Like Ron Rivera is on the hot seat this year because if we don't make the playoffs again, it's going to be 3 straight years we didn't make the playoffs, and that's going to be
I'm
like,
gonna just say this.
okay, Ron, you got the same situation for the three consecutive seasons. You would think you would have an example, or something, or a solution to the problem, and he hasn't got that solution. He hasn't provided a solution yet. So that's probably why he would be let go if we don't make the playoffs this year. On the other side of things, Ron Rivera has kept us competitive every season. Like we've won 7 games every year, I believe. 7-9.
Who's your
7.
QB? Who's your QB?
Sam Howell now.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Hear me out, right? Hear me out. Should y'all? Okay, you say y'all been competitive. Should y'all just tank, bro? Like, should y'all just go for the number 1 pick this year and go for Caleb Williams?
No, because of the sole fact that we've built a good team. Our D line is one of the best D lines in the NFL.
But you have so you tank this season, right? Tank, and then you get Caleb Williams. Now you got a capable coach, a good team with a young QB in a good situation.
Look,
that doesn't work for you? and he got the similar colors as USC.
I would love a guy like Caleb Williams. Don't get me wrong. I would love any great player on my team. But realistically, this is what I need out of Sam Howell. All I need is Sam Howell to not fuck it up. That's it. That's it. Go out there, make the right play. Don't try to be a superhero.
Is he a long-term fit for you?
I can't answer that question right now. I ain't seen him play. I only seen him play one game, and that one game he ran the ball the whole game. So
okay.
So I don't know. I don't know, but if Sam Howell,
how about coming out of college? Did you think his?
I mean, he looked pretty good at UNC. Him and Betty Snell and them boys.
Now, how about compared to someone like a Caleb Williams? Because I'm looking at
Not
like if
even
you think you
close.
can bank on him.
Not even close.
Not even close. All right. So if you feel like you can bank on him, I guess you say it's too early for you.
It's just,
you feel like you can bank.
Like my thing is just this. Just don't mess it up. Do what you gotta do. Do what you gotta do. Like look, Carson Wentz messed up last year. Again, I don't think you're gonna see this, but look, Sam Howell, don't do what Carson Wentz did. Give the ball to Terry McLaurin.
McLaurin was. Y'all gotta get that brother some more help too, because he. I was on free. I was on free McLaurin. You said what?
He kept on to everybody else. Look, I love Diami Brown.
Got to spread the ball too. I can understand that. Like McLaurin demands a lot of attraction, so you can spread the ball to someone else, especially if you know he's the only weapon.
I love Diami Brown. I love Cam Sims. I love Curtis Samuel. I love all of them. But Terry is like the receiver. Terry need to get the ball. And you know what happened? Our offense got beat. When we beat the Packers, what did Terry do that game? Terry was having a field day on Jai Alexander because Jai Alexander came unprepared. He said it in his NFL top 100. I was locked in, but I wasn't locked in. He wasn't ready for what Terry was bringing. Even Darius Slay, a top 2 corner in the NFL, said, you got to come to play with Terry McLaurin. He got to come to play because he come to play every game. Terry, he said it all the time with his podcast.
I think y'all need to get that brother some more help so that way he can do what he does. Like on the Bengals, right? They got a whole bunch of weapons. And so now T. Higgins.
A whole bunch of weapons. We have Curtis Samuel.
Who's y'all weapons?
Curtis Samuel, weapon.
Curtis is more like a deep. Curtis like a deep threat. I love Curtis. Curtis is a good folk. You know, he was on my boys. But
Jahan Dotson, weapon. Antonio Gibson, weapon. Brian Robinson, weapon.
How many of these players are number one wide receivers? Like can actually play number one wide receiver?
How many teams do you know that have 3?
Okay. How many of them are really strong number 2 wide receivers?
Logan Thomas is a good tight end. Jahan Dotson looked great in every game he played. Every time he touched the ball, that brother's playmaking ability is second.
So you feel like y'all have a sufficient amount.
We are a quarterback away from being one of the best and most competitive teams in the NFC. It's been the case for this entire time. You can ask every Commanders fan. You can ask any diehard football fan that, yeah, bro. Like look at the Ron Rivera era. Dwayne Haskins, Kyle Allen, Carson Wentz, Taylor Heineke, Alex Smith, like 5 guys in 3 seasons.
Yeah, I really.
Ryan Fitzpatrick, 6 quarterbacks, 3. Oh, there we go. I'm in the camera again. 6 quarterbacks. Flip my hands. Now they can read it left to right. 6 quarterbacks, 3 seasons. 6 quarterbacks, 3 seasons.
I guess. I mean, I understand. I just when you say y'all, ooh, I guess I just got to see it, bro. And I mean, you got trepidation on your quarterback right now.
I will sit back here and I will fold my arms, dot my eyes, cross my T's. You found me one quarterback one team that's been successful with 6 quarterbacks in 3 seasons. I'll wait.
I mean, I'd have to research that, but 49ers ain't do that bad last year, and they had
2. We had 6.
They had 3. They had 3 quarterbacks, right? Because it was Trey Lance, Brock Purdy, and Jimmy G.
They had 3. We had 6.
But that's in one season, though, Ira. They did half of your quarterbacks in one.
Time out. What did we talk? Didn't we talk about Kyle Shanahan earlier? What is he? He's what? He's one of them rare exceptions.
You said find you an example.
I don't have a Kyle Shanahan as my OC. Kyle Shanahan has.
I gave you 3 QBs in one season. That's all I'm saying.
Let me tell you the difference. Let me tell you.
I get that. I can understand the difference.
Okay, because Kyle Shanahan Do you know that Kyle Shanahan
But like,
has playbooks? He has playbooks for each quarterback designed. Even if they don't see the field, Kyle Shanahan has, yep, I got a playbook for you. I got a playbook for you. I got a playbook for you. We got one uniform playbook that everybody gonna know, but we got plays for everybody in there. So anytime we got to throw somebody in the game, why do you think Brock Purdy, after he got dominated by the Bucks, came in? Bam, 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 bam. Why do you think Trey Lance, after he lost to the Bears the second game before he broke his ankle, he was looking great?
so then is that more so a knock on the coaching then, on the other coaches who don't do
No,
that? It
no,
has to be because it's
no,
not
because
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 for
because
me,
every
this is
quarterback because
planning.
every quarterback that has been in the 49er uniform while Kyle Shanahan has been in office has been wildly more successful than anybody could have never thought of. You can't tell me you thought Jimmy G was gonna go to two NFC Championship games and a Super Bowl appearance in New England. You can't tell me he was that type of player. You can't. You
When he
can't. Brock Purdy,
left New
we just
England, I thought he
we
could
just
have. They painted the picture like they wanted to keep Jimmy G, and they were willing to let go of Tom Brady.
I
That
mean,
speaks
yeah, that's true.
for you.
That's true. That's true. I can't argue with you there. But let's not use him. Let's use Brock Purdy. You think an undrafted rookie was going to take a team to the NFC Championship game when in week six, in week six?
I didn't like.
There it is, right there. 11.
But again, going back to Jimmy G, I ain't expect him and Bill Belichick to be doing what they did without Tom Brady. So I mean, we've seen examples where a coach has done well and brought their team along, brought their young
I don't even
players.
think Jimmy G played that well in the 4 games he missed. I don't think he played that great in the 4 games.
I mean, that's fair. It's a small sample size, so I mean, I'll hear that. I'm just saying from what was being painted, it sounded like the brother was kind of tough. So I got to look at it now. If you're saying, well, Kyle Shanahan is the reason why, well, now I got to look at Ron Rivera, which I hate to do because I love Ron, Riverboat Ron. That's one of my guys,
Uh,
but still,
I mean, shout out Vontae. Vontae said this earlier today. Ron's a defensive coach. He doesn't have the offensive capabilities to just throw a quarterback in there and say,
okay.
"All right, let's do whatever." Like, Nate, look at Ron Rivera in his Panthers days. He had Cam Newton. He was never faced with a task where he had to just shit. Let me just throw somebody in there and just God pray he does well.
So then, remember that conversation we had earlier where you were talking about delegating and like essentially KYP, know your personnel. So why can't, as a coach, if I'm looked at as a leader, right? I always think of a head coach as like the owner of a company. He's not the owner of the team, but he's the owner of a company. He's a manager, if you will. You know what you can't do. Like you know what you struggle with.
Ron
That's why
doesn't
you
call the
have offensive
plays.
coordinators. That's why you have defense coordinators.
Ron doesn't call the plays. He's
So
never called the plays.
so
That's why
who?
that's why we fired our offensive coordinator for Eric Bellamy.
Mm,
Because he calls the plays. Ron calls the defense. He doesn't call the offense. The offensive coordinator calls the plays for the offense. It's been that way his entire tenure. He only got involved with the offense because he is, like you said, the head of the company. So it's
mm.
also his responsibility to figure out why his offense isn't good.
I always looked at head coaches, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's like you should be calling the plays. You can have people run stuff by you, but
It's
ultimately,
like
I feel like it
it's
should
like
fall on
it's
you. You're the
like
head coach.
it's like it's like it's like me and my cousin in Madden, respectfully. Like I call offense, he called defense because he's a lot better at defense and I'm
Mm.
a lot better at offense. We have
Yeah,
we have roles,
yeah.
so we just exceed in the role. Ron Rivera is a great head coach. He look at all the draft picks we had. All the
Mm.
first round picks we've had defense, 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 defense. That's Ron Rivera. That's Ron Rivera drafting that. He drafted a corner with our pick, and I especially thought we'd take a quarterback because it was a quarterback available we could have got. But nonetheless, we did. We took a corner. Not mad. We could use the corner. We could use another corner. Kendall Fuller's getting older. St. Hughes is shaky. So get another corner that could be a lockdown for us.
Mm.
Love it. That would be excellent.
But
And
y'all do need a Q. But you said too though that y'all have been a QB away, and there have been some
well,
solid QBs in the draft. So I mean, if you had gotten one of them QBs, maybe now you in the
possibly,
thick of things too.
possibly,
So
but we also took Dwayne Haskins one of the picks, and we saw how that turns out. Rest in peace of Dwayne
I was
Haskins.
about to say, yeah,
This is
I
before.
hate, I
I'm
hate
talking.
how that happened too.
I don't mean to throw shade on the
Yeah,
past
yeah.
player, but when
Speaking
he
on,
was when he was a commander, he wasn't the greatest.
but he was also young too, and I think
That's
too.
fair. That's fair. But I heard stories he didn't watch film and stuff like that from Ron Rivera. That's why he got benched. and stuff
Okay.
like that because he didn't watch film. He wasn't. He wasn't. He thought his job was guaranteed, and it wasn't till then that his job wasn't guaranteed that he actually started to play some meaningful football and he started actually, you know, be resourceful to the team. So
But
that
see,
it
that's
took.
where you turn around though, and then why?
And you
Why?
saw, and you saw, and you saw before with the Steelers. The Steelers are going to start him over Kenny Pickett before he went to
Yeah.
Steelers because he looked much better. One of my friends told me it was because
Why'd
he
y'all
was
let him go? Because y'all drafted
because
him high.
I
So
mean it was time. It wasn't
what
going to work out.
season did he play with y'all?
He played 3 4 seasons with us. He was there for a little bit.
Why is he that long?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Yep. Yeah.
That's crazy.
He was the quarterback after Alex Smith.
Like I'm tempted to look this up because I halfway don't believe you, but you're a Commanders fan, so I got to bank on that.
Let's
That's tough
see.
though.
Dwayne Haskins was drafted in 2016. No, he was drafted 16. Let me see. Ron Rivera's been
That's
there
tough.
4 seasons. He was drafted. He was drafted when I was in college. I think it was 2019, 2018, one of those 2 seasons, because he was there before the COVID year.
That's crazy.
And you can look it up. It's probably what it says. He was there before the COVID year,
Okay. Okay.
and he
Yeah.
was there for the 3 seasons because he got traded
Mm.
not last year, but the year before last. Oh, we didn't sign him. We didn't pick up his 50. We didn't pick up his 5th-year option.
Okay.
He was there
Okay.
for we didn't pick up his 5th-year option.
Well, brother, I hope that y'all somehow, some way, either got the quarterback that y'all need or can draft Caleb Williams somehow, some way. Because I think that transition from USC to the
We,
Reds or to the Commanders would be rather
we talked about this earlier. We talked about this earlier. When you just throw a quarterback in there, you got to rebuild everything. You got to.
I don't think you have. So I don't think you necessarily have to rebuild with Caleb Williams. He's not overly mobile, so you don't have to cater the offense to that. He's not like he's inaccurate. So I think from a fit perspective, he's no Cam Newton, but you gain some advantages that maybe Cam didn't have. So I think he could fit. I think Ron Rivera could work with someone like Caleb Williams personally. And again, from USC to the Commanders, that ain't that bad, especially if he in the limelight. I think that gives y'all a little bit of positivity, a little bit of a shine, maybe nice. Well, it's y'all, the Eagles, the Cowboys.
I'm not questioning the brother talent. He's a great player, but I'm not getting my hopes up.
Oh yeah. I mean, like, well, if you get your hopes up for Caleb Williams and you miss out, maybe y'all do well and get to the playoffs. So like, you got to pick an option: playoffs or Caleb Williams. Which one you want, and then hope for that. Playoffs. I'm hoping for Caleb.
That's the USC fan in you. I want to make the playoffs. I want to watch my team in January and not on the last week of the regular season either.
No, I think so. My team just drafted number 1. And if you told me I could have chosen between the number 1 pick or playoffs, and I had that option last year, like playoffs or number 1. Like, I probably would go number 1 because I am thinking about
y'all were 4, 5, and 7.
We started off really slow.
Y'all fired your head coach in the middle of
I ain't like us losing I didn't like us losing the interim. The current one, he needed to go. I'm glad we got rid of Buddy. But Steve Wilkes, I wish we had kept. But if you told me we could have gone to the playoffs with that team, I didn't like Baker on the squad. Sam Darnold.
We're never gonna go anywhere with Baker Mayfield as your quarterback.
Right, but I'm also thinking too, though, there's a possibility. Again, we almost went there last year. So I think Sam Darnold now, that solidifies Sam as our quarterback going forward.
Yeah,
I ain't really too big on
I
that.
started 3-0 and then finished the season 4-12. What do you mean?
What you mean?
You said y'all was near the Super Bowl win.
Playoffs, not Super Bowl, playoffs. We could have got to.
Y'all were only in the playoffs.
It was there because of our division, yes, but still, we were in the playoff race.
That's different. That's different.
How's that different?
It's a lot different. We were
literally in the playoffs for like if we won our last game, we would have been in the playoffs.
Being in the playoffs because your division sucks and being
in the
actual playoff race is two
but
different
things. But it's in the playoffs though. Ira, like I don't like I get what you're saying, but it's not changing my statement. Like we were in the playoff race. You said what?
not the same, man.
I never said it was the same. I just said we were in the playoff race. Like
The
if
situations are not similar.
our playoff hope, if you have a chance to make it to the playoffs, you are in the playoff
Our
race.
situations are not similar, not even to the least bit.
All right. Like I said, I would go for the first round or the first number one pick.
We were the
I'm
sixth
thinking
seed
you can
in
get
the
a
NFC
quarterback of
before
the future.
we.
That's all. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
We
I would
were
rather
the
go,
sixth
I
seed.
would rather go first pick over the playoffs.
Wait, I got to flip my hands again. We were number 6
I'm not trying
in
to
the
compare.
NFC playoff picture before it all fell apart. We were number 6. We weren't in there because we were the leading team. We were number 6 because we were the 6th best team in the NFC. We don't tank on that. We don't tank that. We were 6. You build on top of it and hope to get better first. Now, if
But with a bad
hypothetically
QB,
we come out here this year and we go from 6 to 11, okay, all right, we might need to just go ahead and just pull the cards back.
how many games would you need to see before you say we need to tank?
If we have not won 5 games by week 10, then I would say pull the chips.
Okay. All right.
That's 5-5 and worse. Like if we can't make 5-5 by week 10, then that's looking pretty. I doubt we make the playoffs. If we like 2-6 or something, or like 2-8, 3-7, like oh god.
Okay. I got you.
5 wins. It'll be time to make a decision. Like all right.
Should you stay or should you go? Okay. All right. That's fair. That's fair. Well, look, my boy, I greatly appreciate the time that we've had on this show. Did you have anything you wanted to say? And surprisingly, you ain't really say too much stuff that I didn't like actually. So you were a little off brand today. I was very disappointed, Ira. But
I'm never off brand. I always have something up my sleeve if I need to. But all I gotta say is, man, pay your running backs. Pay your running backs. That's all I gotta say.
You know, like, hey, tell you what, we're gonna talk about that next time because I don't know because you can run them. Maybe you should pay them early because you run running backs to the ground.
You pay them
And longevity. Don't be holding out like some.
You're paying regardless. You're paying regardless. If Gordon Hayward can get a contract after breaking his leg,
that's a little bit different. Gordon, hey, wow, okay, that might.
Gordon Hayward did what with the Charlotte?
There you go. That see now you getting back on brand now. Now you getting back on brand. I appreciate that. That made me smile. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Gordon Hayward get a contract with the Charlotte Hornets.
That is wild. Okay, all right.
And what do you get? He got 4 years, 130, right? Yeah.
I see how this. We like I said, we
telling me Saquon Barkley can't get a 2-year deal.
Ladies and gentlemen, I can tell you right now, we're definitely going to talk about running backs next time when I talk about football.
Travesty.
I definitely do that.
Yeah, you got 20 million today. Say Jonathan Taylor can't get 15.
I got you. I'm trying to close though. All right, ladies and gentlemen, clearly he is overly passionate about that topic. So we will end right there. Like I've been trying to do for the last 30 seconds.
Despicable.
But all right, I greatly appreciate you coming on the show. And everyone, thank you all for listening. And you'll see Ira again, so he's a good guy. You join his show sometimes too. So I've been up there a couple times. So you'll see me on his platform as well. But with all that being said, hope you all have a wonderful one. Take care. All right, that's a bad.
Oh, I did not know you guys were still here. As you can see, we're at the back end of the show. No pun intended, but look, hope you all enjoyed it. And before you go, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow the IG account, share the content to anybody who's anybody. And most importantly, leave your thoughts and comments below. But I got to go back and play Buddy in 2K, so let me unmute him real quick. Excuse me. Hey, boss, I'm back. Nah, you better catch this word. You know we get buckets around here, too.